What's up, everybody? This is Peyton Anderson with Next Level Athletes. I'm thrilled to have Robert Jones on the podcast today. Robert is coming off this past season where he appeared in 34 games, making 9 starts, had a season high against Baylor with 12 points, and along with his team making it to the Sweet 16 this past year. Robert, first of all, thanks for coming on today.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Of course, and take me back to your original recruitment process. What was most intriguing about Denver that led you to commit there originally? But now that you've been at Iowa State the past year, what most felt right about making that decision to transfer there and have it effective immediately?
Um, First and foremost, I went to Denver because of the coaches, and that was kind of the biggest reason that brought me to Iowa State. The coaches who recruited me here, we have an all new coaching staff here at Iowa State, so the people that recruited me are brand new, and I just felt like they would give me a great opportunity here, and feel like they have so far.
And going back to your high school days, you were a 3-star recruit, averaged 17 a game, 11 rebounds, 3.1 blocks. Also led your team to a 23-3 record as a senior, as well as a member of the National Junior Honor Society, as well as Black Student Union. Tell us, what do you miss most about playing in high school, and just being in high school in general?
I'd say the simplicity of it all. I I go back and watch some games of my old high school team because my younger brother plays for the team.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so just how like the pace difference and the no shot clock and just how slow everything moves, it just makes me seem like, oh wow, this would have been a lot easier had I known what I'd known now playing in high school. And then of course just like the rigorousness of classes and the free time you have because of that in high school is just kind of something that I look back on sometimes.
And take me back through your time at Denver. What kind of experience did they provide to people such as yourself? But what would you say was the most difficult part when transferring out of Denver to Iowa State?
I'd say the most difficult part is always any tough decision when you have to move away is leaving who you met and who you've grown a great relationship behind.
Mm-hmm.
I met some really good people at Denver, some teammates, some off the team, some coaches, and it was tough to leave all that behind and try to start anew.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say are the biggest differences now playing at least a full season in the Big 12 compared to playing in the Summit League the last 2 years before that?
I'd say the biggest difference in the level of play would be just simply the physicality of the game. Big 12 plays a lot of defense, and
Mm-hmm.
just the physicality of this league is something that's definitely different from other leagues.
And when talking about recruitment, NIL deals, the impact of social media, all these distractions, it can lead players to kind of get off track, if that kind of makes sense, or lose their focus on their end goal. But for you personally, what kind of advice do you have to these athletes or anyone wanting to go to college, and just simply being able to just stay focused and not get caught up in all that?
Well, you got to have your priorities. As an athlete in college, your first priority is unfortunately the sport, not the college itself.
Mm-hmm.
But on top of that, you have to keep and make sure that like your academics are just as prioritized as the sports you play. On top of that, you have to make sure that you keep time for family and friends. But you have to make sure that you keep your priorities straight and not worry about anything else but what you have to get done. And then after that, when you have some time to yourself or just extra time here and there, then you can start worrying about other things that you can or want to get done.
And when it comes to misconceptions, because everybody has their things about athletes in school, whether they're like, oh, this dude went there full ride, he doesn't have to care about school or whatever. But for you personally, again, uh, what have you seen or heard the most in terms of what you feel people like people's misconceptions about athletes in college in general?
I feel like it just depends on the professor. I mean, certain professors have that sort of stigma against student athletes. whereas other professors really like student athletes. It just kind of depends on like who the teacher has had in the past and how they behaved in their class. I've always made sure to just um, make sure to realize that the teacher does not care whether you're an athlete or not. They still
Mm-hmm.
want your work done and on time. So if you make sure you just
Work
treat
hard.
your professor like, yeah, just treat your professor like he's your coach, like they're your coach, and
Mm-hmm.
make sure you do everything to the best of your ability. The professor honestly will end up honoring the athlete part of you a lot more if you do that.
Mm-hmm. And along the subject, transitioning to life off the court, what does a typical day look like for you, first of all?
Well, we have morning practices. So every day we got 7 a.m. practice,
Okay.
which means we got to be there early enough to eat breakfast, get changed, all that sort of stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
7 a.m. on the court. We'll finish practice around 10 o'clock. If we have a lift that day, we lift either right after practice or after our classes. But after that, we go straight to classes. And then after our classes, we'll come back. We'll have either a team meeting or extra workouts later in the afternoon, along with that lift if you didn't lift in the morning after practice. Then you'll have just about the rest of the evening to yourself, whether you want to spend it time doing homework or hanging out with friends or whatnot. That's up to you. But you always got to know in the back of your mind, like, hey, I got to get up at 7 a.m. the next day. So getting to bed at a decent time is another one of those top priorities.
Mm-hmm. And additionally, talk to us about your major. What is it about? Kinds of classes you're taking, but more importantly, why you chose it.
So right now I'm an econ major. I started college as an electrical engineering major. I did a year of that, started to do a semester of that, and then ended up switching to math. After I transferred from University of Denver to Iowa State, um, there's a lot of different transfer stuff and stuff like that just didn't work out in my favor.
Mm-hmm.
So I just decided to switch to econ and get away from the math and the engineering a little bit and just kind of work on something that has a little bit more applicable skills than just a math major.
Of course. And talk to us about your own NFT you recently released. What exactly was it? What was it about? And again, why you chose it in the first place?
Well, the company I did it through reached out over Instagram, kind of like how you did, and was just
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, exciting opportunity. Like, we make you an NFT and then just kind of split the profits or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, I mean, I haven't done anything NIL wise up to this point. Like, I might as well start somewhere. So
Yeah.
I just collaborated with them and put out a I guess it's a playing card, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Like used to collect back in the day, but now they're making them electronic.
Yeah. Seeing you and your program make it to the Sweet 16 this past year, first of all, what would you say was most memorable about it all? But additionally, how has this past season and its success helped define what you think Iowa State prides itself on, at least with their sports programs, as well as what they provide to athletes such as yourself?
I'd say the most memorable thing from the Sweet 16 is just like um, the support that you get.
Mm-hmm.
Just a lot of people like who you've never heard of, just like, oh my God, like
They reach out to
congrats,
you and stuff,
or
yeah.
yeah. And I mean, it's just people from all over, just whether they're Iowa State fans or um,
Fans of the game.
Miami haters, fans of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they always have 2 cents, just want to reach out, and I think that was kind of cool because, or I don't know about cool, but indifferent, something that
Interesting.
doesn't happen to everybody, just random people just trying to talk to you. Um, so I feel like that's the most memorable thing.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like our fan support, it's really cool to see how well our fans traveled to the different places. I mean, we had a pretty good showing in Milwaukee
Yeah.
and even better showing in Chicago. I mean, it's really nice to see that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm. And for everyone in life, they always have a special someone, a group of people that mean a lot to them, their biggest supporters. For yourself, who is that, or who individually or a group of people is that for you in your life? And if they were to be listening, what would you have to say?
Uh, I would definitely say my family, and then a couple of close friends I've grown to know over years that have become like family. I mean, if they're listening, I'd just say what's up. I mean, I stay in pretty close contact with all of them, or
Mhm.
at least as close as I can. So just genuine conversations mean more to me than um, just something you can say in 5 minutes.
Yeah. And in the grand scheme of things, what are you most excited about or looking forward to being able to accomplish with your time left at Iowa State, whether that be on the court or off the court or both?
Um, I'm definitely most excited about getting my degree. That's first and foremost. My dad always preached, get your paper, get your degree, you're going to college, that sort of thing. So
Hmm.
it's just something I'm super excited for to finish college and have a degree. Like that's crazy. There's a lot of people who can't even do that. First and foremost, that I'd say. Secondly, back to the core, I would say getting back to the Sweet 16 and winning it, like being the first Iowa State team to do that and get to the Elite Eight would be a great experience, especially from the success that we had this year.
Hmm.
Um, with the returning coach and some of our returning players, I feel like we have a good chance at that.
Hmm. And additionally, how do you most want others to remember you when your college career comes to an end, whether that also be focused on what you were able to do on the court or the person you are off the court or just both again?
Um, Once again, I'll take it off the court. I want people to remember me for just me. Um, I want people to remember me just for being a person, being down to earth, being able to have a conversation with anybody and not take my athlete status to an extreme where people don't even feel like they can approach me or have said I am rude or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, just because I'm on the basketball team, stuff like that. I always want to just remain humble and just do stuff like say what's up, remember a face, that sort of thing.
Hmm. And last question, after college, what do you want to do next with your life, whether it be basketball related and playing in the NBA or overseas or something non-basketball related?
I mean, I'd love right out of college to play professionally. I feel like it's any basketball player's dreams to do something like that, play in college and then play professional. But I had the opportunity, I'll definitely take that and see how far that takes me in life.
Hmm. Once again, Robert Jones, Iowa State forward. Robert, really appreciate you taking the time today and wish you nothing but the best with your future, man.
Of course, thank you, man.
Of course.